Oh, is that Billy? Your grandma?
I don't think so.
No, it's not. It does look like them, but it's not. No. I don't know who these people are.
Oh wow. In front of the old Grandpa's old schoolhouse, this one-room schoolhouse. That's the white building.
This is the early. Is that his idea? There's a lot of this for grandma camping. There's Dad opening his Christmas presents. Or maybe it's not Christmas, it's your birthday.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
I remember asking for that GT.
Did you ask for the number 44?
No, it just came.
You just got it.
Yeah. I think that's the one.
This room is our living room installation. So because all of us have been living at home for so long and hanging out with our families and not going anywhere during the pandemic, we thought we'd incorporate this transitional space so it still feels homey, and it's a way for us to show some of our video work as well as other tribal members' work and some of our tribal products that our tribe sells to promote them. So we created this nice, comfortable living room space. This is our Aunt Billy's and our grandpa's sculpture. So they're all signed with my grandpa and my Aunt Billy because she really thought it was a collaboration between the two of them, because he made the sculpture and he brings the sunsets. It was a way, she views sunsets as a way to connect with people that have moved on from this world. Very spiritual.
Kind of like other tribes have the rainbow bridge.
You say something about this, and then I'll talk about the other videos that are in here.
These are my grandma's and Sydney's great-grandma's Super 8 family home videos, being my first powwow, and
Holidays, dogs.
holidays, yeah.
In addition to the home videos that you'll see, I've also compiled a bunch of my own video work that relates to some of the other pieces that you'll see in here. So there's a video about with the star quilts. There's a video of my pieces show Culture Vulture, which was a 3-hour-long performance, but I've shortened it into 20 minutes. And then there is also footage of the mural that my dad and I just completed on the reservation in White Cloud, Kansas. So there's about 20 minutes of us painting on the mural, which took us about 2 years to complete. We had a lot of problems. One of them being we bought the wrong kind of paint at first. Then the river flooded, so we couldn't get to White Cloud for about 3 months. Then the pandemic happened. So what was supposed to be a year-long project took 2 years for us to complete, but it was kind of a great way for us to hang out with each other, you know, 1 week out of a month for about 2 years. And to travel up to the reservation, which is 2 hours from Kansas City and about 3.5 hours from where I live in Columbia, Missouri.
We got a chance to visit elders, tribal elders that we haven't seen for a while.
Reconnect with other people on the tribe. It was a community mural. Oh, there you are. There's the powwow. You're not there yet, but...
Yeah, this schoolhouse is a one-room schoolhouse. It's no longer there, but that's where my grandfather went to grade school and probably middle school as well.
This was one of our tribe's first powwows. They were kind of, tribal religions were outlawed for quite a while. So until the Native Religious Act was passed, people couldn't have powwows. There you are.
What year was that?
This was, I think this was 1971.
71, yeah, I was probably
I'm not sure what year the act passed, but this passed from 71. This was the mural that my dad and I and other tribal members completed in White Cloud, Kansas. This is the very start of it. We worked with a bunch of tribal members as well as people in the community to develop the theme, which was just going to be about the history of the town White Cloud, which was named after one of our tribal chiefs. Yeah. So we kind of, in the mural, we have the history of how the town was started. It was first a steamboat town, so we have like a steamboat in the beginning. Then once the railroad came through, once they built the railroads, the steamboat kind of went away and it became a railroad town. And today it's primarily an agricultural town. So it kind of, the mural ends with fields. And then it has a lot of different landmarks from White Cloud in the piece as well. Fast forward to up here is the 4-state lookout. So they say that in White Cloud, Kansas, if you're up on top of this hill, you can see all 4 states: Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, and Iowa. Although it's a little questionable. My grandma said you can't see Iowa, there's no way. Maybe really far out in the distance. White Cloud's claim to fame is it is the place that inspired the story of the original piggy bank. So piggy bank was actually, the original piggy bank was made in New York, but the story that inspired it happened in White Cloud, Kansas. I think in the early 1900s, there was a man that was going door to door raising money for leprosy, and each family pledged to donate so much to the drive, and then had a certain amount of time to raise the money, and then he'd come back around and collect it. When he came around to collect it from this one family, they didn't make their goal, and the little boy in the family, who was named Pete, was really upset that his family did not raise as much money as they had hoped to. And the man that was going door to door was like, it's okay, like, don't worry about it, you did really, really well. And he actually gave him $1.
Silver dollar.
He gave him a silver dollar as a thank you gift to this child named Pete. Wilbur. The child was named Wilbur. The pig was named Pete. So he took his dollar and went and bought a piglet at market and named him Pete, raised the pig, fattened him up, and then went and sold it. And he was able to sell it for exactly the amount of money that they needed to meet their goal.
So I believe it was $90. Yeah.
So someone heard about that story, and then they started producing these piggy banks that said American Foundation for Leprosy on the side of it to help them raise money for the foundation. That was the very original piggy bank. They were cast iron back then, but I've never been able to find one of those. I just collect all of the plastic ones that they made in the 70s or throughout time. Eventually they started making them out of plastic, and those are a little easier to find. But they all say American Leprosy Foundation on the side of them. So that is why there's a gigantic pig in the middle of our mural. These star quilt wearables that you'll see here and in the other room were made for a performance that was about the revitalization of Native culture. So at the time, when I was in graduate school, I had moved from Columbia, Missouri to Kansas, so I was closer to the reservation than I had ever lived before, and I got to know my tribal community. I started attending language learning classes and attending different events on the reservation and meeting people. So I kind of learned a lot more about my culture and my tribe than I had before, and I was really excited about it. So in the performance piece, all the performers are first shrouded in this white cloth that's behind them. They're kind of belted, buckled, snapped, and tied into them. So it's kind of like a cocoon. It looks like a cocoon or a straitjacket. And then the performer actually has to use nothing but their mouth to break free from it. Butterflies eat their way out of their cocoon, so it kind of mimics that as well. So they struggle to break free from it, and after they are freed, they open their arms and a beautiful star quilt is revealed. So that's the revitalization moment. And in the performance, they kind of flapped around and chased all of the white cultural hybrid melting pot characters out of the space and kind of took it over themselves. This is a piece that I made titled The Medicine Man. It functions kind of like a Zoltar would, if you've ever played one of those. I found this neon glowing Indian at a thrift store and just thought it was the most bizarre thing ever, and kind of fell in love with it. And then I recreated this Zoltar machine, but to play it and to get your infinite wisdom, you actually have to literally bow down to the machine. And what you get is a cardboard folder that has a fortune cookie fortune in it. It's kind of a joke on the viewer, like, what did you expect this machine to actually give you infinite wisdom? But also, fortune cookies have no association to China. Fortune cookies were invented, I believe, in San Francisco or somewhere in California. So this piece kind of is a play on that. Fortune cookies have no connection to authentic Chinese culture in the same way that this medicine man has no connection to authentic Native American culture, or the whole neo-shamanist movement in general. I made this piece at a time where a lot of people were, not a lot, a few people had died because they had gone to a sweat lodge that was run by someone that didn't know how to do it. It was a white man, and he ended up killing some people. So it was really, really dangerous to do these things. So that kind of inspired it, but I don't like making work that's super, super serious. I have to put a playful spin on it, so this is my kind of playful spin from what was happening at the time that I created it. We must have magical minds. My fortune reads, if we are to have magical bodies, we must have magical minds. This is a piece called the Rewilding Machine, or the Seed Bomb Machine. It is a repurposed gumball machine that I have filled with seed balls, which are a mixture of dirt, compost and clay, and seeds. They can be purchased for $0.25, and then you can help repopulate the prairies and help our pollinator friends like butterflies and bees, because we need them really badly. So I made this piece also with Be Wild, Rewild, a grant from them, because we were talking about rewilding the state of Iowa, and one of the things we need is more of these pollinator habitats, so the butterflies can travel from the north to the south and pass through the state of Iowa. So all the seeds in it are native to this region, the Midwest, and you can either buy milkweed seeds or mixed wildflower seeds. You can take this little ball and plant it outside. It's best to plant them in the fall for flowers next spring. So seeds need this winter germination process. They need to be cold for a period of time before they will grow. Another way to do that, if you don't want to wait till winter, is just put them in the fridge or the freezer for 2 weeks. That will signify winter for the seeds, and then they'll sprout once you plant them.